A playoff-heavy edition of Premier Preps. We've got championship coverage of Sac-Joaquin Section softball, baseball teams fighting for a chance to play for a blue banner, and tremendous action from the NorCal volleyball tournament. Nobody has you covered like Premier Preps, starting right now. Welcome to a big-time playoff edition of Premier Preps. I'm your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with us this week. We've got a great show with 6 playoff games on the menu, including bracket updates from baseball, softball, and NorCal boys volleyball. But we're going to start this week on the softball field, the D5 section championship game between the undefeated Sutter Huskies, who are no stranger to section championships. They won 18 in the northern section, but they're looking for their first in the Sac-Joaquin section since moving over last year, and standing in their way was the third-seeded Calaveras Redhawks of the Motherlode League. Huskies and Redhawks for the D5 title Saturday at Cosumnes River College. An absolutely perfect day for championship softball Saturday at Cosumnes River College. Sutter and Calaveras for the D5 title. The Huskies looking to stay perfect at 27-0. Top one, Olivia Bauer shoving for the Huskies, but Redhawks leadoff hitter Emma Clark goes right back up the middle. A great start for Calaveras, but the very next batter, Cameron Thornburg, grounds it to Grace Diaz at short. The 6-3 double play ends the threat. We skip to the second inning. Sutter's got a runner in scoring position, 2 outs, but Thornburg in the circle. The freshman leads the Sac-Joaquin section in strikeouts. She collected 4 Ks on Saturday. We're still scoreless in the bottom of the third before Olivia Bauer leads off and sparks a rally for Sutter. Second and third now for Nye Garcia. That one falls into right. Both runners come in to score, and Sutter has a 2-0 lead. We go to the fourth now. Runners on for Bauer. The Boise State commit had everything going for her at the plate. She sends this one out to the deepest part of the yard. Megan O'Neill comes around to score. Bauer went 3 for 3 on Saturday. The next batter, Grace Diaz with a tough grounder to third. No play there. Another run scores, and it's 4-0 Huskies. But they weren't done in the fourth. Alexa Carino follows through with her section-leading 56th RBI. Sutter leads 5-0 after 4. Back in the circle now. Bauer gets one of her 5 punch-outs. She also averages 1 hug per inning from catcher Morgan Hegstrom, and the Huskies pick right back up with the bats. In the fifth, Grace Diaz with a double to left. Maddie Hans and Olivia Bauer score, and the Huskies can taste that blue banner. But they still have 6 more outs to get, and Calaveras freshman Emma Clark making Sutter work for it. 2 for 3 on Saturday, but the Huskies' defense was impeccable. Grace Diaz snares a line drive and fires it back to first base for the double play to end the 6th. I tell you, Grace Diaz was putting on a clinic at shortstop. Nye Garcia mishandles it at second, but Diaz is right there saying, "I got your back, girl," and the Huskies are 1 out away. Bauer looking to close the door, and Nye Garcia puts it away for Sutter, which after winning 18 Northern Section titles, gets its first in the Sac-Joaquin section. It's Bauer's 25th career shutout, and the Huskies roll into the NorCal tournament at a perfect 27-0.
I'm just so proud of this team. We've come such a far way, and we've worked so hard for this moment, and I just think we pulled it all together, and we did so good. We worked every day in practice, just little things to get to this moment and to pursue our goal, and we did.
Well, there were 2 other champions crowned on Saturday. Let's take a look at the final softball brackets for Divisions 5 through 7. You just saw Sutter win the D5 championship. The Huskies now go for NorCal title number 2. They last won it in 2022 when many of this current senior class were just sophomores. The D6 championship goes to Lee Grand of Merced County. The Bulldogs claimed their first section crown since 2011, 7th overall. That puts them at 6th all-time on the Sac-Joaquin Section charts, the most ever at the D6 level with 5. And in Division 7, the Blue Banner was claimed by Big Valley Christian of Modesto. The Lions take home title number 4, all within the past decade, rebounding from a section finals loss last year. We'll have updates on all the remaining brackets for Divisions 1 through 4 later in the show. Well, this past week was the semifinals for the section baseball playoffs, and that means best of 3 series to determine who goes to the championship games starting this week, which will be played at Sacramento City College and Islanders Park in Lathrop. And in Division 1 on Wednesday, the top-seeded St. Mary's Rams of Stockton traveled up to El Dorado Hills to take on Oak Ridge to try and sweep the Trojans and get back to the section finals for the first time since 2015. While Oak Ridge has been battle-tested playing in the Sierra Foothill League, it was do-or-die time for the Trojans on Wednesday. Game 2 of the best-of-3 semifinal, top-seeded St. Mary's trying to punch its ticket to the D1 finals. The Rams are at Oak Ridge, who's got Bryson Elliott on the bump in a must-win game for the Trojans. Top 1, 2 outs, runner on third for Dax Hardcastle. Maybe the best baseball name in the section. He gets the 2-out knock to bring home Roland Reyes, and it's 1-0 Rams. And with the way Nico Bavaro has been throwing this year for St. Mary's, he probably didn't need too much support. A .51 ERA coming into Wednesday, and he's looking good early. Top 2, the Rams take advantage of some Oak Ridge errors. Tanner Grove with a towering fly ball that the Trojans outfielder just can't find. It drops in, and Grove has himself a triple. The next batter, Nathan Del Carlo, cashes in on an RBI opportunity to make it 2-0 Rams. Same inning, St. Mary's loads the bases, 1 out for Michael Quedens, looking for a sac fly, but the ball goes in and out of the glove and left. Another run scores to make it 3-0. Next batter, bases still loaded. Dax Hardcastle with a double play ball, but man, Oak Ridge just got bit by the error bug in the second. You got to feel for him in a game like this. 2 more runs cross the plate, and the Rams lead 5-0 after 2. Meanwhile, Nico Bavaro is on cruise control. 9 strikeouts on Wednesday for Nico, and he would get more help from his offense. Tanner Grove, who normally is known for what he does on the mound, has suddenly turned into Babe Ruth during this postseason. That's Grove's 3rd consecutive playoff game with a home run, 4th overall this season, and the Rams have a 6-0 lead after 3. Oak Ridge trying to get something going in the bottom of the 3rd. Brock Fowler gives the Trojans their first hit of the game. And later in the inning, Oak Ridge loads the bags, a great chance to cut into this lead, but Bavaro gets Ryan Hubbard to ground to Brady Ericart at short, who goes the short way to 3rd to keep the Trojans off the board. We skip ahead to the 6th. Rams tack on again as Tyson Reese, another hot bat in this Rams lineup. Reese went 5 for 5 with 6 RBIs in this series, and the Rams take an 8-0 lead into the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Trojans, but Jacob Coburn comes in to get the final 3 outs for St. Mary's, who returns to the Sac-Joaquin Section championship game for the first time since 2015.
Obviously, we swung it well. I think 4 home runs in the last 2 games. Just swinging it well, and then the pitchers are just doing their job. It's not over yet. It's not done.
Well, we saw some absolutely crazy boys volleyball section finals last Saturday at Cosumnes River College, and at the end of the day, it was the Pleasant Grove Eagles who upset top-seeded Jesuit to win the Division I championship, and that performance earned the Eagles a first-round home game in the upcoming NorCal bracket, which started last week. And Pleasant Grove hosted a semifinalist from the Central Section, Buchanan of Clovis, which didn't come all the way up to Elk Grove just to roll over and go back home. So, spoiler alert, it was another 5-set banger on Tuesday night. Fresh off of its Sac-Joaquin Section championship thriller against Jesuit last Saturday, Pleasant Grove on the hunt for its first NorCal crown, hosting Buchanan of Clovis from the Central Section in the first round, and the Bears were looking grisly in the first set as Matt Smith puts one away. But the Eagles respond in kind. That's Tin Lee getting things going for PG. But it was all Buchanan in the first set. Here's Carter Siemens from the back row. Mama, don't let that baby get hit. Bears up 1-0. But in the second, this PG crowd came to life. Tin Lee with the block, and his dad is the head cheerleader, getting the student section all fired up. He might have been the real MVP in this game. Junior Nathan Ruff going double stuff with 2 blocks, and that'll get you a whoo, 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 whoo. Ooh. Eagles looking to take the set now. Brendan DeWin with the sneaky little fake set right here. And PG takes set 2, 25-19. Eagles keep the foot on the gas in the third. Logan Del Mundo gets PG out to a late 3-point lead, but the Bears claw back to force extra points, and they finish the job as Kaishi Vang sets Cohen Van Beaver, and Buchanan goes up 2-1. PG in a must-win set 4 now. Don't leave the lid off the cookie jar for Tin Lee because he will eat. And then Logan Del Mundo with the head tap. He and Lee are a great 1-2 punch for this PG team. And then Tyler Craig getting his paws up. You shall not pass. And PG forces a Game 5. What an atmosphere this was at Pleasant Grove on Tuesday. Buchanan comes out firing in the 5th. David Frazier puts the Bears up 5-1 early with one of his 13 kills. But Tin Lee was a force to be reckoned with in the 5th, getting some love from Pops, but we're going extras in the 5th. Matt Smith led Buchanan with 17 kills, and we're locked up at 16 apiece. But here's match point. Tin Lee off the block and into the flock. The Eagles are becoming the big game birds right before our eyes. 3 straight 5-set wins in the playoffs, and Pleasant Grove advances in the D2 NorCal bracket.
Woo! Hey, we don't give up. That's it. Because, we've been here in the section run. We got 2 5-set games. We just don't give up. I can't tell you enough about this crowd. It's too loud. It's a big factor in our game. It gets us hyped up. Huge win for us. Man, go Eagles! Yeah!
Well, PG would eventually lose to Rio Americano in the semis. A great run from the Eagles, but we're now going to take a look at the final boys volleyball NorCal brackets as all 4 divisions crowned champions on Saturday night. No local teams in Division 1, but Valley Christian of San Jose wins its first NorCal championship against Archbishop Mitty, the 8th seed in D1, in a battle of West Catholic Athletic League rivals. In Division 2, the Rio Americano Raiders take down Jesuit in the battle for American River Drive. Rio gets its first NorCal crown. The Raiders didn't lose a single set over its final 19 matches. To D3 now, in a matchup of the Central Coast Section's Division 1 and 2 champions, the Lee Longhorns of San Jose, who took down Del Oro in the semis, add to the trophy case with a 16-game win streak to win the program's first ever NorCal title over Monte Vista. And finally, in Division 4, the Bellarmine Bells, who went 3-9 in league play this year, close on a high note by beating Vanden, one of the last teams remaining from the Sac-Joaquin section. It's Bellarmine's second NorCal crown since 2016. Congratulations to all of these teams on a tremendous season as we conclude our boys volleyball coverage for 2024. Well, we showed you some championship highlights from the softball field earlier in the show, but now we move up to the big girl brackets in Division 1, where just 3.5 miles separate the 2 teams in this opening round 7-10 matchup between Sheldon and Monterey Trail. Now, head coach for Sheldon, Mary Jo Truesdale, is the standard bearer for softball coaches in this area. 9 Sac-Joaquin Section championships for the Huskies, But standing in their way on Tuesday is a hungry Monterey Trail team, which will join Sheldon in the Delta League next year. Those two going at it Tuesday in Elk Grove. First round action in the Sac-Joaquin Section softball playoffs, the 7-10 matchup between Sheldon and Monterey Trail, two Elk Grove area teams and future Delta League rivals locking up on Tuesday. Here we go. Top one, Sheldon sophomore starter Quincy Brown getting things going with a punch out for the Huskies, who then go to work at the plate. Runner on first and looking to steal, but Marissa Montano gets the punch out, and catcher Dakota Bumbaka fires down to second to get the old strike 'em out, throw 'em out double play to keep things scoreless after one. Bottom two now, Sheldon trying to get a two-out rally going, and Quincy Brown decides to take things into her own hands. Yep, we see you, K-Dog. And two batters later, Natalia Aguilar steps up and shoots one back up the middle. Ella Krotzer comes home to score, and it's 1-0 Huskies. Sheldon threatening for more with runners on second and third, but Marissa Montano gets out of the jam with limited damage. But Sheldon was up to its old tricks in the third. Squirt Chapman on third after a leadoff hit. Angie Guzman flies one out to right, but it's shallow enough for a play at the plate. Alea Duarte's throw is on the money, but just a bit too hot to handle. Chapman scores, and it's 2-0 Sheldon after three. The Mustangs strike back in the fourth. Runner on second for Marissa Montano, who ropes an opposite field double. Anaya Whipper scores, and it's 2-1. The next batter, Maya Ewing, comes through with an RBI knock. Callie Neufeld scores the tying run, and we're all square at 2. Bottom four, Marissa Montano snares a comebacker. The senior was doing all she can to keep her team in this game, and we remain tied at 2 until the bottom of the sixth. Runner on third for Quincy Brown. The sac fly to center scores Ella Krotzer to give the Huskies a 3-2 lead. And Sheldon has one of the best 1-2 pitching combos in the section with Brown and freshman Micah Kennedy, who throws 2 scoreless innings and helps Sheldon advance to round 2. Head coach Mary Jo Truesdale breaking out the marbles for a win. She always has her team ready this time of year.
You know, she definitely does get us ready. She definitely does get us hyped, but I think it mostly comes from within our own team, where we really push through and we have that confidence and trust in each other. We can, if anyone's up to bat, we think, oh, this person's got it, they're going to get us this run.
Well, let's take a look at the teams remaining in the semifinals for Divisions 1 through 4, which begin this week. In Division 1, top-seeded Whitney is one step closer to repeating as champion after winning it all at the D2 level last year. Number 4, Grigori of Modesto awaits in the semis. And the reigning D1 champ, Oak Ridge, will have a tough task in the semis against Pleasant Grove. To D2 now, top seed Tracy will host 5th-seeded Vacaville, while number 3 Elk Grove will host 7th-seeded Rockland, who took down number 2 Bella Vista in Thursday's quarterfinals. Over to Division 3, defending D4 champion Capital Christian faces off with defending D3 champion Ponderosa in the semis, while Valley Oak League fans must be salivating for this semifinal matchup between number 6 Manteca and number 2 Oakdale. All chalk in D4, the top seed Dixon will host number 4 Kimball, while number 3 Ripon heads to number 2 Central Catholic, who is the defending NorCal champion from D3. Semi-final games are on Tuesday this week, while championship games will be Saturday. Divisions 3 and 4 will be at Cosumnes River College, and Divisions 1 and 2 will be at Sacramento State. Well, our final gamer this week had all the hype leading up to it for a Foothill Valley League rivalry series between Oakmont and Lincoln. The Vikings won Game 1 on Monday, while the Zebras bounced back on Wednesday to force a do-or-die Game 3 on Thursday. Oakmont trying to defend its Sac-Joaquin Section championship from a year ago, while the Fighting Zebras trying to get back to the section finals for the first time since 2017. A win or go home Game 3 Thursday in Roseville. Lincoln and Oakmont, Game 3, win or go home, and that's what it's all about right there. Oakmont trying to protect its 2023 title, but the Zebras come out swinging. Kenny Winters hits one off the bag at third. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. He's both. He would steal second, and that sets the table for Jake Redding, who comes through with a 2-out RBI knock, and just like that, the Zebras lead 1-0. Ben Schimpf on the mound for Lincoln, and he did a phenomenal job. A little help from first baseman Landon Plout, who dives to get the speedy Cooper Kunis. A bang-bang play, but Plout gets the out. Same inning, though, Trevor Wilson, the Oakmont starter, helps himself with a 1-out single. And then 2 batters later, Aiden Dringenberg goes up the middle, and Trevor Wilson runs right through the stop sign. That's a good decision, though, and we're all tied up at 1 after 1. Top 3, Cade Spomer at third after a leadoff walk. 2 outs for Jake Redding, who comes through again with another 2-out RBI knock, and Lincoln leads 2-1. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Aiden Dringenberg at bat, a rocket out to center, but Jackson Cook leaving Oakmont shook with that catch out in center field. A great play to save extra bases. And then in the bottom of the 5th, Oakmont with the tying run in scoring position, but Ben Schimpf was having none of it. His only strikeout of the game comes in a big spot, and Lincoln goes back to work at the plate. Top 6, runners on the corners for Eli Duff. It looks like a double play ball, but Duff legs it out so the run can score. And the Zebras are feeling like they're going to spoil this Oakmont party. But in the bottom of the 7th, Casey Tibbetts hits a shot down the line, and it's off the 315 sign and left. A leadoff double to liven up the Vikings dugout. Later in the inning, bases are loaded for Cooper Kunis. Remember that play in the first inning where he was called out? Almost the exact same play, but Kunis beats it this time, and that's huge because it scores a run, and it's now 3-2. The next batter, Trevor Wilson, on a full count, takes a walk and brings home the tying run. 3-3 to chase Ben Schimpf, who did an outstanding job for Lincoln. But now it's up to Tony Lira. The senior Arizona commit delivers for the Vikings. A walk-off knock to send Oakmont back to the finals, where they will look to repeat as section champions.
I was honestly taking till I get 2 strikes because I know I'm a great 2-strike hitter. I mean, anything around the plate, I was going to swing. It was win or go home. We knew we had to win. And, you know, in the 7th inning, we all realized that today was not the day to lose. It was not the day for our seniors to go home. And I'm a senior, so we battled and we came back in the last inning.
Well, what a game that was, and with that, the Sac-Joaquin Section baseball finals are officially set, and there is plenty of intrigue with each matchup sprinkled throughout the week. I'm excited. Let's take a look at who's playing for that blue banner. In Division 1, we showed you how well St. Mary's is playing. They'll come back up from Stockton on Thursday to face third-seeded Rockland, who knocked off defending D1 champion Franklin in 3 this week. The Thunder looking for section title number 4, while the Rams go for number 5. That game Thursday at Sac City College. In D2, Granite Bay looking for a section 3-peat, and the last year that we saw a section 3-peat was from the team the Grizzlies will face in the finals. Elk Grove looking for banner number 12 after taking down top-seeded Whitney in 3 games this week. That game happening Friday at Sac City. To D3, you just saw the grit and resilience of Oakmont to get back to the section final, and they will face the team that beat them in the NorCal finals last year, the reigning D3 champion Central Catholic of Modesto. These 2 lock up Thursday at Islanders Park in Lathrop. Division 4 features a matchup of schools who played each other in the section football finals this year as well. 12 Bridges, with its first ever senior class, will take on Casa Roble of Orangevale, who's in search of its 4th section crown and first since 2003, Wednesday at Sac City. A section finals rematch in D5. Last year, Bradshaw Christian and Sutter went 13 innings to decide a winner, with the Huskies ultimately taking the dog pile. The Pride is looking for some payback at 28-1, looking for their 7th section championship Wednesday at Islanders. D6 also features 2 defending champions. Last year's surprise team, Leroy Green Academy out of Natomas, is back to defend its D6 crown against Ripon Christian, who leveled up this year after winning it all in D7 last year. That game Tuesday in Lathrop. And finally in D7, Woodland Christian storms into the finals in search of its first blue banner, where they will take on Valley Christian Academy of Roseville, which owns 8 baseball titles since 2008. That's going on Tuesday night at Sac City College. Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. Make sure you tune in next Sunday because we're going to have even more championship coverage from the Sac-Joaquin Section baseball and softball games throughout this coming week. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and don't miss out on any of the action that we've got on the menu next week. Until then, I'm Nick Pecoraro. Thank you so much for watching Premier Preps.